The Lone Guardian. The solitude of space pressed against the viewport as Zara Neith stared into the endless void. Stars glittered like distant promises, too far to reach, too cold to comfort. The celestial seeker, once the pride of the Valari scientific fleet, now drifted through uncharted space with critical systems failing one by one. Zara's four-fingered hand slid across the main control panel, the bioluminescent markings on her silver-blue skin providing the only reliable light in the darkened bridge. The ship's computer displayed the same grim statistics she'd been watching deteriorate for weeks. "Status report," she commanded, her voice barely audible in the cavernous space. The computer's voice crackled through damaged speakers. Life support at 23% capacity. Hull integrity at 39%. Engine function at 8%. Communication systems at 14%. Worse than yesterday. Everything was failing faster than she could repair it. Zara's slender frame carried her through the bridge toward the crew quarters. Here, 24 of her fellow Valari scientists slept in emergency stasis pods. Their iridescent skin was hidden beneath the frosted glass as the ship's dwindling resources kept them alive. Only Zara remained awake to manage the ship and search for salvation. She stopped at the pod containing Commander Elix, the expedition leader. His face appeared serene, unaware that their scientific mission had become a desperate fight for survival. "I won't let you die," she whispered, touching the cold surface of his pod. 3 months ago, the Celestial Seeker had been conducting routine astronomical research when they discovered something remarkable, evidence of an ancient spacefaring civilization in this previously unexplored region. Their excitement had quickly turned to terror when 3 warships appeared without warning. The attackers, a species the Valari had never encountered, fired without communication or provocation. The Celestial Seeker was a research vessel, not a warship. Their shields had collapsed within minutes. Only the desperate maneuvers of their pilot, now sleeping in her pod, had allowed them to escape into the dense nebula nearby. The attackers hadn't pursued, perhaps believing the damage they'd inflicted was fatal. They weren't entirely wrong. Zara returned to the bridge and sank into the captain's chair. As the ship's chief communications officer, she had exhausted every conventional method of contacting her homeworld. The Valari Confederacy was too far away. Their fastest ships would take years to reach this position, even if her messages had somehow gotten through. She had one final option: the prototype quantum entanglement beacon. It was experimental technology, installed on their ship for testing in deep space. In theory, it could transmit a signal instantaneously across any distance, but using it would drain critical power reserves, potentially shortening the crew's survival time. "Computer, prepare the quantum entanglement beacon," Zara ordered. Warning: activating quantum entanglement beacon will drain 35% of remaining power reserves, the computer responded. Understood. Proceed. Zara recorded a brief message explaining their situation, their coordinates, and a plea for help. She deliberately omitted details about the ancient civilization they discovered. That information was too dangerous to broadcast openly. "Message ready," the computer announced. Zara took a deep breath. "Activate." The lights dimmed as the ship diverted power to the beacon. A soft hum filled the bridge as the distress call shot into space, traveling instantly through quantum space to cover thousands of light years in all directions. "Message sent," the computer confirmed. "Repeating signal every 12 hours until power reserves reach critical levels." Now, all Zara could do was wait and hope. She made her way to the engineering section, determined to squeeze every possible bit of efficiency from the failing systems. If she could extend their survival time, maybe someone would hear their call. Days passed, then weeks. No response came. After a month of silence, Zara faced a terrible choice. The life support system could no longer sustain her and keep the crew stable in their pods. She would need to enter stasis herself. "Computer, prepare stasis pod for emergency suspension," she ordered. Warning: with no conscious crew members, Ship functions will be limited to automated systems only. I understand. Proceed. Zara recorded one final log entry. This is Communications Officer Zara Neath of the Valari research vessel Celestial Seeker. If anyone finds this ship, please help my crew. We are peaceful scientists who sought only knowledge. If this is our end, let it be known we died in pursuit of understanding. May whoever finds us learn from our journey. As the stasis pod closed around her, Zara gazed at the small viewport showing the stars outside. The quantum beacon continued its silent call into the darkness of space. The chances of anyone hearing it, anyone caring enough to investigate, were infinitesimal. But infinitesimal wasn't the same as zero. That tiny hope was enough for Zara to close her eyes and surrender to the cold sleep. Unknown to Zara, her signal traveled farther than she imagined possible. At the edge of explored space, aboard the newly commissioned Earth Defense Force warship Thunderchild, Lieutenant Maya Rice noticed an unusual reading on her communications console. "Captain," she called out, "I'm detecting an anomalous signal pattern on the quantum frequency band. It doesn't match any known Earth or Allied signatures." Captain Elijah Donovan moved from his command chair to study the reading. In his 15 years of service in the EDF, he had developed strong instincts about unusual situations. Something about this signal felt important. "Can you determine the source?" he asked. Lieutenant Rice shook her head. "It's coming from deep space, well beyond our charted territories. I've never seen this signal pattern before." First Officer Natasha Kowalski joined them. "Could be a trap," she suggested. "We haven't mapped that sector yet." Captain Donovan studied the signal pattern. Humanity had been exploring the stars for barely 80 years. They had encountered few other species, some friendly, some decidedly not. Their standing orders were clear: proceed with caution, but never ignore a call for help. "Lieutenant Chen, plot a course to the signal origin," Donovan ordered. "Sir, that's at least 3 weeks of travel at maximum speed," Navigation Officer Chen replied. "And we be leaving our assigned patrol area." "I'm aware, Lieutenant," Donovan said, settling back into his chair. "But someone out there needs help. The Thunderchild is the closest ship. We answer the call." As the massive human warship changed course, heading into unknown space, the quantum beacon continued its regular pulse from Zara's dying ship. Help was coming, though neither human nor Valari had understood how this meeting would change the course of galactic history. The Thunderchild moved through space at maximum speed for 18 days. The bridge crew worked in rotating shifts, preparing for whatever they might find at the source of the strange signal. 10 minutes until we reach the coordinates," Lieutenant Chen announced. "All departments, status report," Captain Donovan ordered. Around the bridge, officers checked their stations. "All weapons systems nominal," reported Security Chief Jackson. "Medical bay prepared for possible casualties," Dr. Emilia Santos confirmed from her station. "Long-range scanners showed debris in the area," Lieutenant Rice said, frowning at her display. "Looks like there was some kind of conflict." "Any sign of other vessels?" Donovan asked. "Negative, Captain. We appear to be alone." The Thunderchild dropped out of FTL travel with a brief shimmer of distorted space. On the main view screen, a small damaged ship drifted against the backdrop of a distant nebula. "Scan that vessel," Donovan ordered. "It's definitely the source of the signal," Lieutenant Rice confirmed. "Design is unlike anything in our database. Hull is compromised in multiple locations. Power output is minimal." She paused, adjusting her scanner settings. "I'm detecting 25 life forms aboard, but 24 of them have extremely low metabolic readings. They appear to be in some form of suspended animation." "Survivors," Donovan said. "Prepare a boarding team. Full environmental suits and universal translators. Dr. Santos, you're with them. If these people are injured or in stasis, we'll need your expertise." When Donovan entered the shuttle bay, the boarding team was already prepared. 6 crew members in environmental suits checked their equipment one last time. "Remember," Donovan told them, Your primary mission is to help any survivors. Secondary mission is to determine what happened to that ship. Be careful, but remember, these people called for help. Let's not disappoint them. Alliance in the stars. The human boarding shuttle approached the alien vessel carefully. Up close, the damage was even more evident. Large sections of hull plating had been blasted away, exposing internal structures to the vacuum of space. Emergency force fields flickered weakly, barely containing what atmosphere remained. Those are weapons impacts, Security Chief Jackson observed. Someone attacked this ship with military-grade weaponry. The shuttle pilot, Lieutenant Rodriguez, located a functional docking port. With precise maneuvering, he connected the shuttle to the alien ship. Atmosphere on the other side is breathable but thin, Dr. Santos reported, checking her scanner. Gravity is active, but at approximately 70% of Earth normal. Temperature is just above freezing. Security Chief Jackson led the way, the team moving cautiously through the airlock into the alien vessel. Their helmet lights cut through the darkness, revealing corridors with architecture clearly designed for beings close to human in size, but with notable differences. Doorways were taller and narrower, control panels positioned higher than would be comfortable for humans. The life signs are this way, Dr. Santos said, following her scanner down a corridor. They passed rooms filled with damaged equipment and what appeared to be scientific instruments. One of the engineers, Specialist Chang, stopped to examine a device. "This technology is remarkable," she said. "Some of these components are decades ahead of our own designs." They continued until they reached a large chamber filled with pod-like structures. Inside each pod was a slender being with silvery blue skin that seemed to glow faintly from within. They had elongated limbs, four-fingered hands, and facial features that were almost, but not quite, human. "These must be the crew," Dr. Santos said, examining the nearest pod. "They're in cryostasis. The pods are keeping them alive, but the power is failing." "What about the active life sign?" Jackson asked. The team searched the chamber until they found a pod that was different from the others. Its system showed signs of more recent activation. "I think we found them," Dr. Santos said. "This pod has only been active for about a month, while the others have been running much longer." She studied the pod's control panel, comparing it to readings on her medical scanner. "I think I can safely revive whoever is inside." Jackson nodded. "Do it." Dr. Santos carefully worked the alien controls. The pod hummed, and the frost on its clear cover began to melt. Inside, the silver-blue being's eyes fluttered open, large, almond-shaped eyes with pupils like liquid mercury. The pod opened with a soft hiss. The alien inside took a gasping breath and slowly sat up, blinking in confusion at the strange beings surrounding her. Zara Neith had expected to die in her sleep as the ship's power finally failed. Instead, she woke to find creatures in strange suits standing around her pod. Their bodies were bulkier than Valeri physiology, and she couldn't see their faces behind their helmets. Fear shot through her body. One of the creatures stepped forward slowly and held up empty hands in what seemed to be a universal gesture of peace. It touched a device on its suit, and a voice spoke in a language Zara had never heard before. Dr. Santos activated her universal translator, hoping it could process the new language. "We mean you no harm," she said slowly. "We received your distress signal and came to help. Can you understand me?" The translator analyzed the sounds and attempted to find patterns. After a moment, it began converting Santos's words into sounds that approximated the alien's language. Zara's eyes widened as she heard the strange sounds shift into something almost understandable. The translation was rough, but she could make out the meaning. "You received our signal?" she asked in disbelief. "Who are you?" The universal translator processed her speech and converted it for the humans to understand. "We are humans from the planet Earth," Dr. Santos explained, removing her helmet to reveal her face as a gesture of trust. "Our ship is called the Thunderchild. We detected your distress call and came to investigate. Are you injured? Zara couldn't believe what she was hearing. An unknown species had traveled across space to answer her desperate call. It seemed impossible. My crew, she said urgently. Are they alive? Dr. Santos nodded. They appear to be stable, but your ship's power systems are failing. We need to get you all to our ship where we can help properly. Zara looked at the strange beings surrounding her. After months alone in space, hunted by mysterious attackers, she had given up hope. Now these humans had arrived from nowhere. Why? She asked simply. Why would you come so far to help strangers? Dr. Santos and Security Chief Jackson exchanged glances, confused by the question. Because you needed help, Santos answered, as if it were the most obvious thing in the world. That's what we do. The next 12 hours were busy for both species. The Thunderchild's crew worked to transfer the sleeping Valari scientists to their medical bay, where Dr. Santos and her team set up special equipment to maintain their cryostasis. Captain Donovan ordered engineering teams to begin emergency repairs on the damaged Valari ship. Zara stood on the Thunderchild's observation deck, watching the stars through the large viewport. She had changed from her tattered uniform into clean clothes provided by the humans. Though designed for human bodies, the fabric adjusted somewhat to her slender frame. The door opened, and Captain Donovan entered with First Officer Kowalski and Dr. Santos. They invited Zara to sit with them. How are you feeling? Dr. Santos asked. Better, thank you, Zara replied. The universal translator had improved after analyzing more of her speech patterns. I still cannot believe you came. Captain Donovan smiled. Your distress signal was clear. Someone needed help. Zara tilted her head, studying these strange aliens. In my experience, most species do not risk themselves for strangers. Maybe you've been meeting the wrong species, Donovan said. Now, can you tell us what happened to your ship? Zara nodded and explained about the Valari research mission, though she was careful not to mention the ancient civilization they had discovered. She described how unknown attackers had struck without warning, damaging their ship before they could escape. These attackers, First Officer Kowalski asked, are they likely to return? Yes, Zara said simply. They are very thorough. They will want to be certain no Valari survived to report their actions. Captain Donovan exchanged glances with his officers. Then we need to move quickly. Dr. Santos, how soon can the Valari crew be safely revived? I'd recommend keeping most of them in stasis until we reach Earth space, Santos replied. Their medical needs are complex, and our facilities aren't designed for their physiology. Ms. Neath here seems to be adapting well, but I wouldn't want to risk the others unnecessarily. Donovan nodded. And the Valari ship, can it be repaired? Chief Engineer Patel says the damage is extensive, Kowalski reported. We could get it operational enough to tow, but it would take weeks to make it fully functional again. We don't have weeks, Donovan said grimly. If those attackers return. A priority alert interrupted him. Lieutenant Reyes's voice came over the comm system. Captain to the bridge. We're detecting 3 vessels approaching at high speed. Donovan stood immediately. Red alert. All hands to battle stations. On the bridge, the tactical display showed 3 ships moving rapidly toward their position. Configuration matches what Ms. Neath described. Lieutenant Reyes reported. They'll be within weapons range in 14 minutes. Hail them, Donovan ordered. No response, Captain. They're powering weapons. Donovan turned to Zara. These are your attackers. She nodded, fear evident in her mercurial eyes. They will not negotiate. They believe your presence here makes you their enemy. Donovan's expression hardened. Get to medical bay and stay with your people. We'll handle this. As Zara hurried from the bridge, Donovan issued rapid commands. Lieutenant Chen, plot an escape vector. Lieutenant Reyes, continue hailing them on all frequencies. Make it clear we're here on a rescue mission. Still no response, Captain. They're accelerating. Donovan straightened in his command chair. Then we stand our ground. Shields at maximum. Weapons systems online. The Thunderchild was a warship designed to protect Earth's interests in an uncertain galaxy. While its primary mission was exploration and diplomacy, it carried formidable defensive and offensive capabilities. Enemy vessels entering weapons range in 3 minutes, Lieutenant Chen reported. Last chance, Donovan said. Final hail, Lieutenant Reyes. For a tense moment, the bridge crew waited. Then, incoming message, Captain. Text only. The message appeared on the main screen. Leave or be destroyed. You protect our eyes. Donovan's jaw tightened. That's the only warning we get. Send response. We are on a humanitarian mission. We will defend ourselves if attacked. Before Reyes could transmit the message, the tactical display lit up. They're firing. The Thunderchild shuddered as enemy weapons impacted against its shields. Shield integrity at 92%. Lieutenant Chen reported. Minimal damage. Target their weapons systems, Donovan ordered. Defensive fire only. Let's show them we're not easy prey. The Thunderchild's advanced targeting systems locked onto the lead enemy vessel. Precision energy beams lanced out, striking the attacker's forward weapons array. Direct hit, Security Chief Jackson reported. Enemy vessel is breaking off. The other two are still approaching, Kowalski warned. Evasive maneuvers, Donovan ordered. Keep targeting their weapon systems. The confrontation continued for several minutes, the Thunderchild demonstrating superior technology and tactical prowess. Finally, after sustaining significant damage to their weapons and propulsion systems, the 3 attacking vessels retreated. They're withdrawing, Captain, Lieutenant Chen confirmed. Heading out of sensor range. Maintain battle stations, Donovan ordered. They might be regrouping. In the medical bay, Zara had watched the battle through internal ship displays. She had never seen anyone stand against these attackers before, certainly not in defense of strangers. When Captain Donovan arrived to check on the Valari crew, she approached him with new respect in her eyes. You defended us, she said. You could have left. Donovan shook his head. That's not how we do things. We don't abandon people who need help. My people have much to learn from yours, Zora said. When my crew is revived, I believe we will have much to offer each other. Donovan smiled. I believe you're right. This could be the beginning of an important friendship between our species. As the Thunderchild set course for Earth space, with the damaged Valari ship in tow, neither humans nor Valari could know that this chance encounter would change the course of galactic history. The alliance formed in the darkness of space would soon shine as a beacon of cooperation, eventually drawing other species to its light. But that is a story for another time.